Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. I want to welcome my friend Mario Castelli. We're going to dive in, talk all about the world of really mental health. A lot of it has to do with physical well-being as well, but I think you're going to learn a lot. We dive deep into the nitty-gritty of stress, anxiety, depression in the 21st century, today's modern world. It is September 2019 when we're recording this, so I hope you enjoyed the episode. I think you're going to learn a lot.
Health is where I definitely want to be. I've always had an interest in. I was training, friends and other people, on the side and stuff. So like, why don't you just do this? I was like, you know what? Maybe I should because, like, regardless of me going to school for teaching, I've always had this huge passion for health and mental health and everything health related and stuff. So,
Nice.
Here I am.
Yeah, great, man. So you said that you were sort of teaching your friends at the same time? How so?
Yeah. Yes, I was teaching my friends like nutrition and how to work out properly and get rid of all like that bro science. And I'm the billboard of the perfect specimen, but
Well, that's all of our goals,
let me just
right?
put that out there. But I've been studying stuff. Yes, exactly. Though I do have facts to back me up. I've been researching this stuff since I was in middle school. I was asking gym teachers. I was researching things on YouTube, following what's his name, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a few of those other pro bodybuilders like Phil Heath and Kai Green. They know what they're doing, and then I just kind of like adapted things to myself. And then I've been playing soccer for for years, and I had a knee injury, two double knee injury, so where like my knees are they're off track. So every time I certain movements they kind of hurt. So that kind of set me back a lot too. But I was still able to exercise and keep healthy, keep fit. So when my knees get better, that's a huge strong goal of mine to get up there and stuff.
Good.
And try to beat fast metabolism. But
Yeah.
I'm all about learning, constantly learning things. I was learning how to better myself intellectually, how to better myself physically, and just try to teach people. So everything revolves health and teaching, but just in a different way. I'm not in front of the class anymore.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So isn't that interesting? That's exactly kind of where my mind was going with this whole thing, right? That you started on this track to be teaching, to be traditional teaching.
Traditional, yes.
Right? And that's what's so great. So I myself am in the online space teaching advertising, right? So totally different from the health and wellness space. However, it's still teaching one and the same now, right? Because we can both be teaching online instead of having to teach in a classroom. I think that is just, it's crazy, right? That you expect, like, I don't want that traditional teaching, having to come up with these modules and be in front of a class. But now you can almost touch so many more people with kind of the same education. What do you think?
I would say, without a doubt, it's actually quite phenomenal how someone could do that. I mean, I'm all for education. Heck, I'm still going to school and everything, but school is not really for everyone. The information that, and I even have professors tell me the same thing, like everything that you learned from before college, for the most part, it's kind of BS. You're not really using it. And even while you're in college, coming from professors, mind you, it's still somewhat BS because everything is based off of that paper that you get. And the world is changing. Your credibility for having a BA, mind you, even a master's degree, doesn't really mean all that much anymore. So, I mean, if you want to go to school, cool, like go for it. That's, it's great to have a formal education, but I learned so much in the past few months, mind you, from the end of 2018 to present day, through business, marketing, all that great stuff, even amping up my writing game and, all that great stuff. So, I mean, and heck, I'm even talking to you. Like, how did I even come to a point where I'm talking to you? Like, you know what I mean? I'm being on 2 other podcasts a few months ago. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that, I guess. But school doesn't really teach you about making connections, and it's just by grinding and putting in the work. I've connected with some marvelous people, you yourself included, and look, I'm making a difference one way or another.
So making a difference is sort of the key. So do you follow Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins?
Oh, Wayne.
I would assume
yes,
so. I would assume so, of course.
I could go on with a list. But before I go there, what do you think about Gary Vaynerchuk? Because he's kind of controversial in a lot of people's minds.
Before we switch that direction, I was just going to say that, so Dean and Tony are huge now in their new program, the Knowledge Business Blueprint, right? And so they're trying to change total education, right? It's not education and learning that is broken, of course, right? It's literally just that form, that traditional, that having to go to college. Funny enough, I literally had this discussion the other day. I was looking at my buddy's diploma. He was like, "Yeah, a lot of good this has done me, huh?" And like, no one ever asks for it. I mean, in my eyes, if I think about in the future, what I want my kids to go to college, um, the social skills. That's the only reason why. The social skills that you gain from that sort of environment, sort of networking almost like what you were talking about,
Mhm.
that's arguably the biggest thing that I learned by going to college. Other than that, what I'm doing right here, right now, not a thing.
Of course. I mean, of course, I did learn the whole networking thing at college, especially because you're mainly on your own. And mind
Mm-hmm.
you, I didn't, dorm there, but talking to teachers, you're advocating for yourself, you're meeting new people, you're connecting with people to work on projects to studying this and that, dating if it happens, whatever it may be. But for me, for the most part, it was all through LinkedIn mostly, and
Mm.
Instagram, and some bits on Facebook. But yeah, definitely, if you go to college, the social experience is really important. And what
Yeah.
these two men are doing, Dean and Tony,
Yeah.
they're definitely on the right track. Definitely on the right track. Meanwhile, we're on the track of Tony. Did you see his Netflix documentary? I Am Not Your Guru.
I honestly don't know if I've actually watched it. So keep going with it. What track are you on here? Because I follow him
Yeah.
pretty closely. So
Okay. Well, essentially, this documentary was about one of his seminars that he does. It's called
mm-hmm.
the Your Date with Destiny seminar, and
Yeah.
this was the first. This came out, I believe, in 2016. This documentary, but it was great. I watched it. I watched it again. Like, nice. So every day, pretty much, it was built up on a specific topic, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I even made some notes because I'm making a video about it. But I said one day is like stay in your head, you're dead, and just pretty much what negative thoughts, even positive thoughts in your head, and having those thoughts just stay there, what it does
Mm.
to you, how you're not growing. The whole thing pretty much has the theme of growth, of course, but
Yeah.
it's how you're getting there. And I'm not doing the activities that everyone else did because I wasn't there at the seminar, but
Mm-hmm.
just every day built upon certain people that were chosen to speak, like picked
Yeah.
out, from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned a bit more of their stories, how they grew from the previous day, and even at the end. And I was like, wow. Like I honestly wish I could have went to something like this because you're with like-minded people, and just to
Yeah.
be around Tony and just have all that energy and just the drive to actually want to do something better with your life, and you know but no, besides the point, it was great. It was I learned a lot more about him and a lot more about myself, just to say that in a few words.
That's awesome.
I
So his whole
Yeah,
thing, if I can just
yeah.
ask, right, when you're getting towards there about almost like keeping it in your mind, right? Whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whatever it is, does he sort of see that like that is the problem that's going on? Is that people aren't talking about or expressing enough?
Well, I would say more so on that particular day because that's what the episode focused on. But
Okay.
yeah, for the most part, this whole Date with Destiny seminar is all about you making the changes that you personally need to make, not to look
Mm,
at what John Smith is doing and not what Barbara is doing.
yeah.
How you're gonna get there, and we're all in different levels. And he's saying, "Listen, I love you. It's okay that you're crapping on yourself, but just own up on yourself that you're crapping and just clean it up and just go on." Pardon my French. I apologize. I know this and stuff, but honestly, in the way that he speaks, just like Gary, the way that they both speak is so blunt.
Mm,
And this is a culture, an American culture, where it's kind of taboo to a degree, especially other world cultures. But to a degree, you kind of need that. He's not sugarcoating
okay.
anything, and we're
Yeah.
very. It seems like we're a very baby, easily offended country, even world possibly. So I mean, I like it. I definitely do. It helped me so much.
Good,
Dean,
man. Yeah.
Dean, I
Go
like
ahead.
too, but I'm more familiar with Tony. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
getting more to Dean.
Gotcha. Cool. Basically the same. It's interesting that you're saying that, right? That the world is so soft these days, right? And like I say it about myself also. I actually used to have a poster up on my wall that was World War II when they're storming Normandy, I guess. World War II,
Mm.
World War One. Sorry if I messed that up. But either
Worthless.
way, some of the toughest, hardest men ever in existence, right? They're literally running into battle, literally running it to their deaths. And so
Yeah,
this poster showed that, and then above it, like just like a statement out to me, it says, "Harden the fuck up." Because everybody's so soft. Like, if these guys are fucking storming the beaches of Normandy, I can suck it up in my cushy first world life over here, right?
exactly.
A lot of people
Hmm.
don't think about it that way. including myself. And so it's great that, like what you said, right, that Tony Robbins, and I mean, we can start talking about Gary Vee here, how they are super blunt, right, how they are super straightforward. And I personally like it. I think it offends a lot of people. Funny enough, Gary Vee actually puts out videos also of people asking, hey, why do you curse so much?
I love it. I really
And
do.
he's just like, I'm just telling how it is. And it's sort of this exact same answer, because I probably got it from him, from actually watching and like actually studying all his content. But he's like, the world's soft. I just tell it how it is. I'm not trying to put a filter on it for anybody. I'm giving my opinions. This is how I see the world. This is how I talk.
Yep.
Done. So earlier you brought up Gary Vee. So how come?
Well, Gary Vee, it was actually a mistake how I found him. I was, just perusing through all these different channels and recommended things on Instagram. I was like, okay, cool. This is a loudmouth guy all about, motivation and stuff. And listen to it. I was like, this is some real talk. Now, mind you, I was raised, and I don't mean this as a slur or anything, because I need to be careful with how I word this.
Oh, good.
I was raised differently. I have a European background. My family, they immigrated over from Europe, so I understand how it is to struggle. My whole life has been struggling, with the whole, learning disability thing as well, plus European background, trying to fit in within the American culture. It was like 3 hits all at once. And I was always the odd person out. I had friends, yes, but throughout my years, especially through middle school, high school, even some bits of college, I was always told, Mario, why do you talk like this? Where did you learn to think like this? Why do you, kind of express yourself this way? I'm like, I don't know. I just do. This is just how I see everything, and I coined the whole feeling, the whole experience as my kaleidoscopic vision, meaning I look outside of the box. And what is a kaleidoscope? A kaleidoscope is all colorful, it's all misshapen, all that stuff, right? It's the same thing with Gary Vee. Now, he also has immigrant roots. He's actually from Belarus. I'm not from Italy, where my father and my family is, but I still have the strong ties and the culture and everything. But he came here, and he's pretty much experienced the same thing. Yes, he was crappy in school. I did a lot better in school, but he busted his ass in the wine library. I busted my ass in school, busted my ass to prove to myself, not to anyone else, to prove to myself that I'm capable of being an amazing writer, of being an amazing person, having morals, being able to help people. I love helping people. And that's a huge reason why I'm doing everything that I'm doing, including talking to you right here. So I love Gary Vee. He's so blunt, and just the fact that he's blunt, which I find to be the norm, and how the world is now, it's making it look taboo.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the transparency. And that he's tough. I grew up with a really tough father, a father that came here when he was around 11 years old, and a family that, World War II, like my grandfather was in World War II, knew Hitler personally, knew Mussolini personally. And he used to tell us about that.
Wow.
He was captured by the Axis power, because what happened with Italy, they eventually backed out. They didn't want any part of it anymore. So he was captured and stuff. Wow. And so hearing all these stories and thinking of this man, which was the father of my father, and my family, my mother's side with the war and everything too. I'm like, I can't be a baby. I really can't, because they had it so much harder than me. And I have the ability to go to college. I have the ability to have a podcast and write and give people a voice. Like, I need to calm down and just get through my own anxieties, and just, and Gary, he really helps me. He really does. Every time I watch a video, even Tony, even Dean, and Mel Robbins, even if you haven't heard of her, they help me focus. I listen to these people as I'm doing my work.
Same.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little life hack.
Yeah.
But man, if that's honestly, that could be one real big thing that everybody can take away from this, is to just think about all those struggles, not even the struggles of just today, which that in itself is big enough, honestly. Shit, if you're listening to this, are you homeless? No? Okay, great. Suck it up now. Could be worse, right? It could be worse. But then you think about exactly like what you're saying, right? Like our grandparents, what was their situation in? Especially if they're over in Europe. Oh, shit, yeah, there you go, right?
That's from the US. No, the Great Depression in Europe.
Okay.
Not just America, like in Europe too.
Worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, like a big reason why everyone pretty much came here. Because they had wars in their country. They're getting over wars, civil wars. They had dictatorships. Getting over World War II, all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, rebuilding.
They literally had to rebuild physically, and they rebuilt themselves in a different country.
Yeah, nice.
So And I'm
that's
not all
interesting.
about, just Europe and stuff, but like in general, like even other
I hear you.
world cultures during the time and stuff too. I mean, I don't know.
No, you're good. So, I mean, going sort of on that path there, right? Because you said, of course, they had to rebuild physically, but rebuild themselves mentally also. So let's sort of dive into that. I mean, so Mario, I know that you sort of, that's where your passion lies, right? Is health and wellness, I think mental health specifically. And so now a couple times you've said you're starting to write also. So correct me here if I'm wrong or anything, but talk a little bit about on that side. Let's sort of veer farther into that journey.
Okay. Well, before I go there, I need to backtrack just a bit. When I was in elementary school in my youth, I didn't like doing homework. I knew it was necessary, but I always loved writing assignments at the end, always. Like, ABC order, all that kind of stuff, and writing a story. Even like during class or any bit of the day, I'll be making up a story. Or even if we didn't have to, the words that we had, I'll be making up a story. So where people, like my classmates, they were kind of struggling with that a little bit. I was like, no, this is easy. I was like, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, yeah, I got all 5 words already, and I still have like a few more sentences to go. I'm like, this is great. So, and then from there, pretty much what I'm trying to say is I just built. Eventually, I was writing. Well, I was drawing, but then I originally went from drawing to writing to help me cope with middle school and again the rarity issues that I was having because I was always the odd man out for some reason. And that's not what was me. It actually helped me to see why people tend to think that way, where they have their own insecurities. Where I was tackling my own insecurities through the art, through the words that I was putting down, and even the music I was listening to. Other people, they were expressing it on me and other people, other people in their lives and other circumstances. So it really helped me empathize a bit more.
Nice. I think that's kind of where it all started. No, you could. I think we just cut out there for a second. So I asked, like, do you think that's where it all started?
Would say that's where the base was. Yes. When I got into college, I amplified a bit more with poetry readings. Again, it all started with extra credit, of course. And I did it the first time. I was nervous, like it was no one's business, because that was the whole public speaking portion. I didn't mind, speaking in front of people and everything, but it's always that bit of nerves because you do a great job. I did it. I was like, wow, this is great. Everyone's clapping for me. I know there's some students that had to be there, but like from the professors, I was like, thank you. And that really means a lot. And then I went back again and again and again. So that was 4 years of me actually doing that just because I wanted to. Yeah, just because I wanted to. And throughout that course, I made some really powerful things. It was more so of, again, me coping with everything, with a few love interests that I had, some friend things that was still going on because college was still pretty rocky with my college friends and high school friends. I don't know. I just I attracted a certain amount of people where they just have this really interesting effect on me emotionally and mentally and stuff. I guess I attract people where they see this light in me that I kind of bring the best out of them. And that doesn't mean that they're the best for me. At least most of them weren't. So I was dealing with all that stuff and just took a huge step back. And that's where I really started diving deep into the whole mental health thing. So long-winded approach, but that's where I really started to take my foothold within the mental health realm. Not just dealing with my own stuff and OCD, ADHD and stuff, but it was more so talking about depression, talking about anxiety, talking about insomnia, all this other kind of stuff. And like really just diving deep into it. And I'm getting a great following on that. I have some friends and some connections through LinkedIn and other platforms. Like, this really helped me. I'm like, cool, thank you. That's honestly what I was trying to do. I really appreciate that. And that actually makes me want to do more and be better and stuff, not just doing allegory. You're familiar with the allegory?
I'm not familiar with allegory.
Okay. Well, essentially, allegory, it's all symbols. So let's take, where's one piece? Mania, like bipolar mania and stuff. I took that piece and I made the actual monster tangible.
Gotcha.
Same with anxiety, for an example. I made the anxiety monster tangible. And for me, anxiety is this huge thing. I'm still trying to come to terms with it. And it took a personal approach where the monster, he was holding a clock. Whereas like, tick tock, and stuff like that. And for me, it was just, I need to get things done. I need to get things done. I need to, make some progress. And that actually helped me too. Helped me get through my anxiety a bit more. Health. It's besides the point. Besides the point.
Nice, man. And it's funny to hear you, or it's not funny that you talk about it. It's great to listen and watch you about it because I can see the passion on your face, right? I can see that just the fact of when people reach out and they say, hey, this helped me, right? That kind of makes it all worth it. It makes you want to keep going and pushing forward and understanding that, great, like what I'm hoping to accomplish here is actually happening. What's happening, right? I want to give back. I want to help. And those little things of recognition helps you to keep pushing forward. Right? A lot of times, especially businesses and followings can take years and years and years to grow. And I think especially us and the like millennial and younger generations, we're very impatient, right? We're super impatient. However, we're impatient, so we should know that it should take 5, it should take 10 years to grow and build. But the little pieces of the puzzle of like the confirmations, hey man, you're doing a great job. Thank you for this. Keep going. I really learned a lot. It helps push you to understand that, yeah, it's going to take, even if it does take 5 years, even if it does take 10 years, it's going to be so worth it in the end. Right.
Yep. I was taught to go for the long term, nothing for the short term. Well, not nothing, but
yeah,
you can go for short term, but those bits need to help you get to the future, to tomorrow.
Of course. I mean, that's probably why you went to the medical side, right? If you were thinking short term, you definitely would not endure that much school.
Yeah, for the most part, you could kind of say that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. But cool. So let's touch back on the whole side of sort of the anxiety piece of the puzzle and depression, sort of what you're talking about. I think it's a super serious and a more prevalent issue in today's world. I actually touched on this on a past episode, and I was sort of attributing a little bit to smartphones, right? And the piece of the puzzle of smartphones all around sort of triggering your endorphins. Right? Like every time you get a notification, you get a message, something, you're sort of spiking. And so people don't really know where normal is anymore. At least that's sort of my opinion of it. So if you don't mind, touch on that a little bit. Let's dive deeper into that whole thing about anxiety and depression, because I think it's just so relevant today's day and age. And just to share with you, I actually got diagnosed with anxiety disorder back in high school as well. And so I had to live with it around friends. I was on different medications for a long time. And finally, I've found a balance with kind of just eating right and exercising a lot. But that's how I handle it personally. But I've had to grow to get there. So please give me your opinion. I mean, why is it such a big problem? Do you even see it as a bigger problem in today's day and age? What do you think?
Well, just to start this off, you're doing a great job with the whole exercise thing, because not only is it working your muscles, it's also working your mind. And fitness, it's kind of overrated and underrated at the same time. Yeah, you gotta eat right, this, the bum and stuff, and then you have all these unnecessary BS trends, and you're actually harming yourself instead of actually doing better. So you're doing a great job, brilliant.
Sweet. So that's a takeaway for everybody. Exercise.
Exercise. It could be fun. It could be fun. I made another video about this too. It can be fun. Go for, let's say, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. If you walk for 15 minutes, you burn 100 calories. You could go for a run. You go listen to music. Go with friends. Do something. Make a game out of it. They even have fitness apps that have games within it. So,
nice.
But I digress. But yeah, most definitely. You touched upon the whole phone thing. I'm working with an artist that she hasn't been getting in touch with me all that much. And so I finally got in touch with her yesterday. And every time I see that little Instagram notification, I'm like, is it her? Is it her? And it's like, oh no. So that whole endorphin thing, it does work. Yes.
Yeah.
It is her this time. Awesome. But, I would say anxiety does play a huge role in depression. It's definitely at an all-time high. I can't give you the actual numbers, but I looked at it not too long ago, and they're a lot higher. They really are. They're a lot higher for anxiety and depression. I would say the whole media culture is definitely a huge consequence to that.
Okay.
And rightfully so. It does make sense. But not only with anxiety and depression, just more so of everything that's going on between your ears as a whole, it's not really taken all that serious. It's always, brush underneath the rug, and, if you need help, go take some medication, or go talk to someone, but we're going to silently judge you. No big deal. And yet we all have it. We all have physical health. We all have mental health. Like, don't just work on one. You have to work on all of it. And if you're going to work on one, work on your mental health, because that in turn is going to help you with your physical health. This is mind over matter.
Definitely.
Essentially. Yep. I have a metaphor for that too. Your brain is like a boss. It's like a CEO. You know what I mean? Like the head honcho of a company. Now, I like to piece this with Gary Vee. He is so empathetic. He actually cares about his workers, his employees. So he is going to send the right sensory and motor signals, right, to get the conveyor belt going. Your body's going to move, right? What
Yeah,
if it wasn't? What if he was crappy? If he was the leader that leads from the back instead from the front, that company is not going to go, and the body's not going to go. It's
yeah,
not
he
going
probably
to
wouldn't
move.
even gotten to the level that he's at, right?
Yeah,
Definitely not.
exactly. So if you think about it, if you just concentrate on your body doing what you need to do and not worry about the health up here, then the products are not even going to come out anyway. So you might as well, have the light on it up here and care for it up here. Have someone actually wants to do good, that's nurturing that area, and then everything else just follows through. So if you have something wrong up here, then your sensory motor signals are not going to get to where they have to go. So again, you're going to be stagnant. And I don't know, that's just one of my, I don't know how I even came up with that.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, so I sort of,
I've
just a simple almost metaphor that comes into my head, right, is just exercise and eating right, actually, right? Those are sort of those two same pieces of the puzzle, mental health versus physical health, eating piece of dieting and the exercise piece of dieting, right? Everybody just focuses on the exercise or the physical health, but you forget that it's all kind of where you start, right? It either starts with mental health, starts with your actually correct diet, and if you don't focus on those two pieces of the puzzle, you're not going to be able to accomplish the rest of what you need to do.
And
right?
You'll decrease your depression and anxiety as well. All the cortisol, you're going to decrease all of that. You'll be less anxious. Depression won't be as prevalent.
So what have you both experienced and heard from other professionals, sort of the top way to deal with, in today's day and age, anxiety and depression?
There's this woman, her name is Lori Miller. She has mental health moments. I listen to them. She's brilliant. She says that we need to get out of our own head. We need to exercise. We need to find ways to cope, things that make us happy. Accept the negative, but don't dwell on it too much, because I'm a huge thinker. Like, I'm a huge thinker, worse than the statue. Like, the more you map things, the more you map things out, and you try to, how the solution to this, you're gonna have more pros, more cons, branching out, and you're just gonna give yourself more anxiety. So the thing is, just acknowledge everything. Say, what can I do right here, right now, at this moment, to make even a bit of progress, and just take it from there. You build up. So I'm not going to downplay whatever she says in all of her videos, because they're all different. But for the most part, she says just to find something that you could make a bit of progress on, to realize that we're all on our own journey, and we can't look at other people.
Yeah.
Because if I'm looking at your success, you being a podcast host, and I'm like, wow, I don't have one yet. I've been trying to start one for a while. I guess I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, I'm not going to be on the no, like, you can't. One day I will be a host. Today's not going to happen, but one day I will. This is, for me, this is getting me comfortable to be on air more,
Yeah. And so this is that small piece, right? This is that one step. So what it sounds like what you're saying, right, is that almost the number one or one of the top reasons for depression, anxiety right now is comparing ourselves to others, right? Social media makes it so easy to do, right? But so if we can stop comparing ourselves to others and then just focus on getting just 1% better every single day, right? Just that little step by step, that's sort of what you're talking about, right? That can really help solve the problem as well.
Yes, you said it a lot better than I did, but yes.
Well, I was just summarizing what you said. So there's this book called The Compound Effect. Have you heard of it?
Yes. I haven't. I actually haven't.
You haven't? Awesome. So it doesn't have to do with mental health per se, but it really has to do with just life and overall success. And so I highly recommend this. I don't know if I've actually mentioned it on the podcast or any of my videos before. Well, now that I say that, I probably have because it's so good. Either way, it talks simply about becoming basically just 1% better every single day, right? And over time, it's going to compound. They talk about finance in it as well, as far as investing is concerned, right? You can start investing, the earlier the better. That's like the number one trick to investing. It's not, okay, well, I only have $1,000 to put in, or I only have $100 to put in. And then someone's like, I might as well not invest. I got to invest when I have 10,000 to put in. That's not the case. If you just start earlier and just day by day, small task by small amount of money, if we're staying on the investing example here, compounds over time. And so I highly, highly recommend it. both to you, Mario, to everybody who's listening and watching, because it's funny how that swings around, right? Because I hadn't thought about it in the sense of mental health before, but yet there's the connection.
See, that's the thing. People cannot conceive the fact that mental health is everywhere. We are both directly and indirectly affected by that, by our state of mind. and especially the indirect part where it just really kills me. Like, come on, guys. Like, just to go back, I know it's a little boring for some people and a little but the fitness, right? The exercise. Yeah. Directly, you're thinking about it. You're trying to get that 2 more reps, and you're really, trying to get your whole life together in that part. But indirectly, don't you feel better afterwards? You feel amazing afterwards, especially if you hated it. You're like, wow, like that was awesome. Like, I'm at physical therapy for my knees, right? And I know that I'm strong. I could do, so much, but those times where I'm feeling the pain for something, like the good pain, I'm like, yeah, this really hurts my knee, but this type of pain is definitely going to help me. That was nothing. I could definitely do that again, and I know that I got better for it. So,
a little bit of pain.
Hopefully, I will be better in another month or two. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Because you
have my own.
Get a little bit better every single day. And not to get too crazy or too well, I'll tell you the story and we'll see what your thoughts are. So you're saying, right, that people don't like to go to the gym, but yet if you force yourself to go afterwards, maybe not right afterwards because you're panting and breathing heavy and you're all gross, give it an hour later, you'll love it, right? You're so happy that you went. You feel great about yourself mentally and physically. And so here's a pretty extreme example. So as I mentioned to you, my brother and I, we actually just moved out to just outside of Denver, Colorado about a week ago, right? And the elevation is very real. We're from Virginia, elevation, flatlands kind of, and now we're super high up. And so we decided to sign up for a gym. And the guy said, come try out our group training classes. Love it. I'm like, sure, let's do it. But maybe we should give it a week to try and acclimate a little bit to this elevation. Either way, we did. So yesterday we go to the class. Kicks our ass. It's called drench. Yes, we were drenched afterwards. As I'm walking away, my brother doesn't. He exercises as much as I do. He doesn't sign in the gym as much as I do. Still in pretty good shape. And he was sort of walking out. I'm like, how was it, man? He's like, it was super intense, but I didn't throw up. That's literally what his level was. He's like, well, I didn't throw up, and so he was feeling good. And then maybe a little bit later, he did throw up because of the workout. He pushed himself too hard. But then later that afternoon, I was like, hey, how you feeling? You feeling better from after this morning? And he was like, yeah, I feel great. Like, he pushed himself to the point where he physically threw up because of this, how intense his workout was, 10 minutes after we ended. Yet still later in the day, he had a positive mentality about it, and said that he literally felt better.
They actually have those altitude masks.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of controversy about. So you don't even need that over there. That's great.
Yeah, man, it's crazy though. But yeah, so the point of that entire story was, right, so you can feel so bad, like it hurts in the moment, right? There's a little bit of pain that you feel from your example of your knees and physical therapy, right? But yet it builds you up, right? You just feel that much better later on. And over time, you're going to feel a lot better.
Yep. Now, I actually have a question for you. Did you hear of the book titled The Greatest You by Trent Shelton?
The Greatest You? No, that's one I don't think I've heard of.
Trent Shelton, he was an NFL football player, and he's now a motivational speaker.
Nice.
For a few years, yeah. I didn't make it through the whole book yet, but it's great. It's all about, really figuring yourself out. The bit that I'm on right now, it's about, maybe that's a previous chapter, about not necessarily burning your bridges, but burning them when they're necessary, and trying to forgive yourself, forgive the people that did you wrong, and really uproot those seeds that we allowed to really take over our lives, and we're not able to move on. That's just one chapter pretty much.
Of course.
But I can't really do it justice explaining it.
What was it? It was called The Greatest You? Is that what you said?
The Greatest You, Trent Shelton.
Awesome. I'll link to it down below also. Just out of curiosity, are you a actual reader or a audiobook type of guy?
I'm a reader. I'm a reader. I can do the whole audio thing too. I can, but I prefer have the smell of the pages, the actual book in my hands, and just because I always have my earbuds, my ears, my AirPods, listen to podcasts and stuff. I don't always want to listen to to something, when I already had those things in for like 2 hours, 3 hours, I just try to give it a break. And I like to calm down with reading, or if I have some free time, I like to read. If I listen to anything, for the most part, like a book, it'll be when I'm working or if I'm driving. I won't have those things in my ears, of course. But yeah, but there's just something about having it in your hands. Digital books, I do not like.
No. Yeah, I can't do that
That's
either.
a completely different story. Oh my gosh. I know they're really popular. That's where you need to go as a writer intent. But like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was a junior in high school. My English class was chosen to test out what they call Nooks.
No,
It's some digital.
Yep. It's like a Kindle. Yep.
We were reading. Yeah, it's like a Kindle. I have a Kindle. I don't even use it, unfortunately, but I just can't stand that format for reading. We were reading the Lord of the Flies. Okay. I wasn't too much of a fan about that, but we had to read it, and for me, it just felt longer because every swipe was a page, and you can make it bigger or smaller the font. But I just didn't like it. I just did not like it. I'm like, that's too funny. That actually gave me more anxiety than reading the book itself. I was like,
that's too funny.
Like, okay, like how many more pages? I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, oh, you could put the bookmark. Doesn't matter if you could put the bookmark. I'm not putting the bookmark there myself.
Yeah, that's.
I hate it.
That's too funny. Yeah, because especially today's day and age, right? I think probably way more people read digitally. Not as maybe the Kindle, maybe the Nook, but also blog posts, right? Way more than actual books. And so it's funny to hear you say like you hate consuming the audio books, right? Or even the Kindle and the Nook versions.
Audiobooks. Audiobooks I like. Digital books, I really can't stand. But if like a blog post or anything else in that articles, completely different story. Completely different story. But it was like a book. I can't explain it properly. It's just it's a completely different feel compared to reading a book digitally and then a book tangibly. Listening is a different. It's a different medium. It's a completely different medium.
I'm with you. Do you think you'll ever make a strictly digital book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps not strictly, but
definitely
of course, I'm definitely going to aim. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go down that route because that's where it is now, honestly. Definitely. And a lot of people just prefer to read. Some people don't want to actually buy the book, have it with them. It's something else to carry. I understand that. Like you can easily read something off of your phone. Yeah, I understand that. I'm completely the same way in certain respects. It's understandable, but I'm just not really, a read a book digitally type of person. But I would definitely go down that route. Nice. I'm actually working on a few different stories. Some short stories finished. I just need to have them edited because they need some edits, and I'm biased. I don't see really any problems with it, so someone else needs to look at it.
Yeah, I hear that.
So I'm excited about this. I'm really excited for this.
Where are those going to be published? Where do you think you're going to publish those?
There's this. Well, I'm on different writing platforms, which is one thing. But professionally, having them published is where I want to go eventually. Yeah. But Medium, it's one. Vocal is another platform, and Odyssey. I've been on that platform for like 3 years, 4 years. Odyssey. So yeah, Odyssey online. There's a link on my Instagram. Okay. I'll show you everything, and you can get that there. My LinkedIn, where I have live articles, even organic articles that are not
nice.
Those up. But and I'm currently working on a children's story, which I'm just about finished with. It'll get edited, and then we'll see where that goes for Christmas and stuff like that. It's Christmas themes and stuff. So
cool. So stay tuned on that one. I like it. Well, Marius, let's wrap this bad boy up, man. What should our listeners take away from this thing? What is the one out of everything we've touched on from all these different books and entrepreneurs and exercise, mental well-being? What's really the one thing you want people to just get away from, take away, more than anything else?
You spoke a lot about a lot of different things. Ultimately, this is what you need to do. And this is what I found within myself in the past few months. Just do you. Who cares what the naysayers are going to say? If definitely dabble in some marketing, some business realms. That's going to help you regardless of what you do. But be you, stay transparent, and keep what's going on between your ears at an all-time high.
Love it. That's perfect. I don't need to summarize that one at all. Nice. Love, guys. Cool. Well, Mark, I appreciate you being on here, man.
Pleasure.
Definitely, everybody go follow him. Instagram, is that the best place you want people to sort of follow along?
Yes, Instagram. Wow, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's MC Rights. It's MC period dash Rights, and LinkedIn is just Mario Castelli.
Perfect.
That's it.
We'll link to both of them down below. Also, make it super easy for everybody to get to. Mario, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cool, dude.
Woo.
Good stuff always.